I represent Radar now. I am so pleased. We've got an incredible guest here on the show today. Someone that is really leading the female Jamaican music movement. I don't even want to pigeonhole her as one genre artist. It's the incredible Jaz Elise. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for having me. What an intro.
Honestly, I'm so excited because the new EP just dropped.
Yes. Yeah, man. Finally.
It's incredible work on this one, and I wanted to say that as well. I want to make sure you're not pigeonholed as an artist, because before we get into how we're going to talk about the brand new EP that dropped today, The Golden Hour, really I want people to understand that you're not just reggae, you're not just kind of R&B, you're sort of this melting pot of so many different styles, and you come out as just one of Jamaica's finest talents right now. So how do you identify yourself as an artist? Do you have that kind of, I'm a reggae artist, I'm a soul artist, how do you see it?
I mean, I don't, to be honest with you. I'm Jamaican firstly, so I make Jamaican music, you know. One of the foundations is reggae music and also dancehall music. So at the core of everything I do, it's just going to be that, you know, regardless of what other sound it is. So that's what I would say.
Definitely, I can tell that as well, because we had the privilege of interviewing Naomi Cohen and Savannah on the Gully B show in the last year as well, and both those females, I see yourself kind of in a similar sort of lane as that. You're all kind of showcasing Jamaican music to the world, but not in we are just reggae, we are just dancehall. It shows so many different styles coming together, and I feel the females are really leading the way right now coming out of Jamaica.
Hey man, we're just doing music, and well, for me especially, I'm just doing music and making great, honest music. That's what I strive to do. So if other females definitely feel empowered to do that, it's gonna look like say we'll just take over.
Well, speaking of different females kind of doing things together, there's definitely a unity in the female Jamaican artist scene right now, because all over my timeline this week has been the clip of you and Lila Iké straight from the Dubbys doing that incredible collaboration. That has just been my entire Instagram feed is just you two just doing that incredible work there. So how was that coming together? Because that is an iconic moment in music right now to me.
Oh man, the Dubbys. Listen, them just step forward and hold a vibe, and naturally I support anything that supports our music and our sound. So what Dubwise did for Dubbys is just amazing for young artists and the established artists who probably did not get the recognition and just the appreciation of the contribution to the culture that some other international, award show was supposed to give but didn't give. So when they say pass through and all a vibe, I just pass through and all a vibe and sit down on a plane wing and just do some music. For me that is all it is just having fun and enjoying it, and I'm glad people are enjoying the clips that are going around and the vibe that we just naturally had on when doing it.
Absolutely, because what I loved is the fact that you done it on the Uptown Top ranking rhythm as the first rhythm, and obviously that was a huge female reggae hit from was it the 70s or the 80s? So to kind of carry that to the modern day with yourself and Lila Iké collaboration, I thought that was a great nod to the history of the culture.
For sure.
And I even love the when you knock your drink over as well and just keep the flow going.
Oh yeah, definitely knocked over the glass of wine. It was just, we were just chilling, honestly, with a glass of wine, this and that, knock it over, spill everywhere, oh my God, what did I do? But it's still a vibe same way.
And for me as a massive fan as well, the first thing I noticed straight away was those Clark's desert boots on your feet, just holding the vibe and things like that. And for me, I was just that's Jamaica right there. And I got to ask, well, as a Clark's fan, do you have a favorite pair of Clark's shoes that you own?
Ooh, man, I'm big Arsenal right now. It's building, I'd say, and there's a few that I've yet to have that I think is gonna be in my top 5. So I'm not even boss which ones yet, but I'm definitely a Clark's fan. I love their shoes, and I just build it up right now.
Well, I'm glad that we can have the UK Jamaican link up that Clark's Originals did so many years ago right now in this interview.
Yes.
Definitely. We're bringing a whole new vibe to it right now. So one thing I want to talk about yourself as an artist is when we see that in the Dubbys clip that you and Lila Iké did together was your versatility as an artist, because it just shows that you can kind of jump on real dancehall music as well as kind of bring the more soulful elements like you have in the new EP. You look at the history of your music, For You, that was I'd say that's a dancehall record right there. And then when you kind of see how it's evolved into things like Fresh and Clean with that more like Afro influence, with Governor, who's a very hardcore dancehall artist right now on the remix. But then, of course, you've got things like Rock and Groove, Good Over Evil, to that traditional reggae feel. So how do you juggle that kind of balance of styles, and how do you approach songwriting like that?
How do I balance the styles? This going to sound like super cliche probably, but as I say, for me, I just do music that I like. So, and if I have things I want to talk about, I'll talk about it. If a rhythm nice, once I like the rhythm, I'll do the music on it. I don't have a preference to say, no, I'm not use that rhythm or that kind of rhythm or that genre. From it connect my heart, me just about it. And from that is how you get what looks like the diversity from For You to the Fresh and Clean to the Rock and Groove and Good Over Evil, which is more traditional, reggae, kind of trappish kind of vibe, and it's just become like the rhythm and connect with it.
Well, I think like there's definitely like a Jaz Elise sound here, because one thing I really think that steps out from just your singing performance and your vocal talents is like the productions that you pick. You're not sounding like anyone else really. There's no one. It's not like we're hearing rhythms. It's like just 10 different artists on one rhythm like we see. Like I think you really stand out. So from the production side, how much involvement do you have on the rhythm side? Because I feel like even before your vocals go on there, you can tell it's going to be one of your records.
Okay, wow, that's great to hear. To be honest with you, that's that you can hear Jaz Elise sound. But regarding production, it's like half and half. So For You and Fresh and Clean and songs that I've worked on with JLL and some other producers, it's been like, I have an idea. How can you interpret this? Let's work together and do it. And then there are other songs, like, for example, Radio was something where JLL had a rhythm and I really liked it. And then he kind of tweaked and I tweaked here and there. And then songs like After 3, Ayatosh had a rhythm and I was just like, this is it. Good Over Evil, I heard the rhythm and I was just vibing to it same way. And the rhythm is what inspired me. Not necessarily I came with an idea. So it's really half and half. Always involved. I always love to hear from the process of like a piano chord to a full rhythm to a mix to a master, because I just love production, I love music, so I'm always in the process with everybody.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to talk in a minute about the brand new Golden Hour EP, because it's just incredible. I've been listening to it constantly. It literally dropped this morning. Anyone that's like a fan of, I'm not even going to say like reggae music, but you like soul, R&B, if you just like beautiful music, that is what you need to do today, is listen to the full EP. That's your homework. But before we get into that, I want to kind of talk about how you've always kind of kept one foot in the roots of the culture and one step in the future as well, because I really feel that you're an artist that's pushing the culture into the future. Like you're definitely one of those. I could definitely see like in like 100 years people will remember Jaz Elise as someone who really pushed Jamaican music and not just reggae music forward. So how do you kind of what was your influences kind of growing up on that? And how do you always make sure that you're staying consistent and fresh with your influences?
Wow, I really appreciate that, because that is one of my goals just in music, to influence down the road 100 years from now, as you say, to be listening and be inspired by Jaz Elise music. So thank you for that. But just my inspirations, I have a lot. I have a whole heap of inspirations, a lot of which is rooted in Jamaican music. Should I name them, or I don't know? Yeah,
definitely. We'd love to know what kind of was the, what started all this.
Just growing up in Jamaica, you listen to the Sizzlers, you listen to the Chronics, you listen to the Dennis Browns, the Bob Marleys, and Taurus Rileys and the I Waynes, Capleton, if we never say Capleton, and the women, Marcia Griffiths, Lauren Hill, Nina Simone, who is not Jamaican, but they're strong Black women who did very time-shifting and time-shaking music. So I've been inspired by a lot of that. And then you have the Beyonce, the Alicia Keys, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey. I just grew up listening to all of that.
Well, I'm glad that you kind of set your own lane and that melting pot has come together. What has brought us to today, which is the release of the brand new The Golden Hour EP. So
Yes.
how long has this body of work been taken for you? Like, has this been something you've been working on through, the whole pandemic side of things, or was this long before even that?
Not before the pandemic. I would say midway into the pandemic is when I started. So it's been about 6 months or more. A little bit more working on this project, just from the deal to the creation of the music to the just the inception of the idea, and then the actualization of this entire project. So for example, After Three, which is on the EP, is one of the first songs outside of Fresh and Clean that I did.
Right. So you got kind of straight into
one
it
of the
from
first
there.
ones.
So right now I need to ask the big question.
Yeah.
The big question right now is, do you have a favorite song off of the EP yet? Or can you not even pick them right now?
Every day I have a new favorite song, because if you listen to the EP, you realize that every song is really, it a touch some other feeling. There are different feelings and emotions and moods that are brought out by every single song is different. And so whenever I'm feeling that, then that's my favorite song. So some days Breathe is a song that I have to listen to, and some days Straying is a song that I have to listen to, and some days a Radio, and some days Elevated. Everything have a mood, and it's just when we align with that particular mood.
Well, it's definitely kind of the thing that's come together, because for me, I think the if I was to have to sum up the full EP in one word, it would be the word elevate. And I feel as if that's a recurrent theme. You've got the first song called Elevated. You hear the word elevate in Good Over Evil. Like, has that always to rise people up? Has that always been your ethos behind everything?
Yeah. Maybe not intentionally, like I'm gonna say this word, but just my mission for my music is just really and truly to inspire people and to be honest with people about things I've been through and how I feel, and hope that they can connect to that as I'm on this journey of music. So if that is something that comes through for you, that's amazing for me. And you being empowered and elevated is a takeaway. That's great.
Brilliant. Well, it definitely does bring us up on that one. And I love how the EP kicks off with the title track Elevated there, because I feel as if you've got a great balance between the hardest sort of Jamaican patois feel as well as the very soulful singing side of things. So is that something that you always identify as your sound?
Hey man, if it quacks like a duck, I have to admit it, I have to accept it. Maybe that's just my soul. Maybe that's just me. Even if I don't necessarily aware of it, because I'm just singing, I'm just doing me. But yeah, look at DJ style, a little bit of soulful singing, because that's just what I grew up listening to, as I say. The Dennis Brown, them with the sweet voice, and the Whitney Houston, and then I listen to the Sizzler and the Capleton, and the Highway with the sweet voice too. It's just a mixed bag, and so I must sound so.
I feel as if the EP definitely accompanies so many different styles like that, and that's one thing I really love about this. And we've already spoken about this as well, that the fact is this: you are a Jamaican musician, you're not a reggae musician, you're not a dancehall musician, you're not just you're everything in this one. And I feel as if the EP covers so many different styles, like the soulful side too. And I for me, I loved hearing on After Three just that bass line and how your voice just flows so well over it. How did that song kind of come about? When you first heard the rhythm, or did you have the lyrics and song in mind before the rhythm? How did that kind of come together?
Yeah, man, After Three bass line, deadly. So Ayatosh is the producer of After Three, and he was playing some rhythms for me, and when he played that one, I was like, send me right away. The rhythm was just amazing, and it inspired the song. I would say, inspired the song, definitely.
Well, I'm absolutely loving that one. For me, at the moment, because it is just day one of the release, at the moment, my favourite's probably Radio. That's the fun kind of...
Radio?
Maybe because we're on the radio right now, I don't know. Maybe because I'm a radio DJ, but Radio's the one. Obviously, Good Over Evil is there's so many incredible songs, but obviously Radio is new to me because The other ones had already been pre-released
Your
before the EP
favorite.
dropped, but radio's the one I'm gravitating to right now. So did you want to bring that kind of more fun vibe on that track?
You know, say radio is a JLL production, so naturally, hey, I don't know what it is, but you know, when me and JLL come together, it's just problem. It's straight problem, and it's just vibe and it's just feeling. So when he played the rhythm for me, you know, I remember Protoje was in the studio and then run from around the corner and forward in the studio to say, yeah man, this one have that vibe that we like. But it's dope. Like Jay is a dope producer. I'm grateful to have been working with him all these years and just kind of grow with him, grow with him, because that's part of the reason for my sound, to be very honest. Just his progressive, foundational, life-changing beat-making skills and just love for his craft and things. So yeah man, radio is definitely one of those, you know, it's our favorite, so I'm happy that it's your favorite right now.
Right now, it definitely is. Like, this thing is though, like, as you said as well for yourself, it changes the more you listen to it, because I was listening to Breathe and hearing that kind of like, you know, beautiful Spanish guitar, the flutes and all the elements that was on Breathe as well, and you're like, oh yeah, that stands out as well. I think sometimes each one has its own place in a different place. If I'm just chilling at home, then I'll be playing Breathe. If I'm in the dance, I'm going to be playing something like Fresh and Clean or Radio or something like that. So I'm so excited for people to see it. And I remember when we spoke to Savannah a while ago, and I feel as if you probably will resonate the same way. She says that sometimes when you do the body of work, the music, and it's all recorded, that's still kind of 50% of the job done, because the rest has to be in the visual side. And already we've started seeing some incredible visuals from you, and even the artwork on like Spotify and Apple Music is very colorful and bright, and it catches your eye. Is the visual element something that is always as important to you as the music?
Of course. For me, it's art, you know. All this music that we are putting out is art. That's why they call us artists. It's not just because we sing, because we want to package a product. We want to package something for people to really feast their ears and their eyes are just as important. And it is just allowing everything to get the best showing that it can get. You know, without just putting out a song, and you want people to hear the song and then see something nice and see a cool artwork and something we can elevate the song and bring it to the best that it can be.
And there's that word again, elevate. You're bringing people up and you're raising the spirits of everyone right now. Like, it definitely is obviously, like, if I'm going to say, like, yeah, what does Jaz Elise do? She elevates people, and her music does that. Her visuals do that. Her artwork does that. And I'm glad that that's something that you've kind of brought together. And so right now, I'm really seeing, you know, female Jamaican artists are really pushing the country's music forward to the rest of the world. Like, when I'm talking to people about, like, who are they really noticing out of Jamaica, of course, Coffee was like a first obvious example. You know, Lila Iké, Savannah, Naomi Cohen, Tosh Alexander. And even, of course, on the harder dancehall side, like Shensia and Spice and Jada Kingdom, I feel like the ladies are really pushing this out to the world. And you are definitely one of the front runners in that scene. So with that kind of, like, with the world's perception of Jamaican music right now, how do you see the future for it? How do you see this going even further than what you've already brought it so far?
That's always such a layered question, because I feel like growing up, I always felt like women were just in music. I grew up listening to Queen Ifrica and Etana and women like that. So, you know, and you have the Alains of the world thing, and so Tessa Chin. So it was always like, oh, women are here. Shoot, I forget her name, man. Legend to, you know, it's a pity.
Oh, Tanya Stevens.
Tanya Stevens, man. That's just who I grew up as, you know, they're women and they're in music, and I was just like, yeah man, woman, they're both. This is just a place where women can thrive. So for me, seeing that now, it's just reminding me of my childhood. Even if it never stays so, I believe within myself that seeing these women, this is just what the landscape of the music industry is, because those are the people I was always tuning into, women in music, because I saw myself in them. So now I love that people you're seeing the music that we're doing in us as artists. So hopefully they can feel how I felt growing up, that woman just doing a music is not an anomaly, it's not nothing special, it's just that we're there in music just like anybody else.
Definitely. And I feel like, of course, now there's a whole other generation of young little girls at 6, 7 years old now looking to you in the same way that you looked at people like, Tess Anchin, Tanya Stevens, and artists like that. Like, how does it feel to now be that inspiration for the next generation?
It's surreal. It's really, really surreal. The first song I did, I had no idea what would come of it and where it would take me and if I would be an inspiration to anybody. But I am just grateful that people can connect with my music and even kids who want to listen and press play to what I'm doing. So it's just gratitude.
Well, I remember the first time we saw like the whole Rock and Groove live stream with yourself, Naomi Cohen, Savannah, Lila Iké, when you looked at with Shawnee B. Like, I remember like every female, even girls that I knew that weren't even into reggae music, were sharing that clip because just of that kind of unity coming together was so inspiring. So I love that you're kind of pushing that forward. I know that you're always going to be championing other artists around you. I feel the females are a bit more loyal with unity and instead of like kind of battling egos in the music scene. Would you say that's true?
Man, I don't know, man. People are people. But I just feel like if the music, once your good intentions is leading you and the music, whoever is around me is just going to be moving with good intentions and positivity, just like me. But when you think about ego and bad mind and them thing there, Chronixx have a song we name Same Prayer, and in it him have a line where say, can't teach me love unconditionally, can't go around preying everybody. Closest of friends will deceive you badly. I know Rastafari is my family. And it's just that you never know who is capable of what, but you just have to move with unconditional love and good intention in everything you do, and just hope that the people around you is good.
God, that is the message today. Anyone listening right now, if you can take one bit out of anything today when you listen to this EP as well, think about what Jaz Elise has just recited from Chronixx on that one, because that's the vibes your EP gives me. It just kind of gives you that positive energy and make sure you're giving out the good vibes to everyone else. And I feel as if your music's doing that. So we're talking about positive music and uplifting feelings. We do one thing here on the Gully B show. We always jump into the top 5 selection with the guest interviewer here, and we want to know kind of what does Jaz Elise want to uplift the people with today? What kind of tunes would you draw for as your top 5? Do you have a first pick that you want to go for?
Ooh, oh my gosh, Dennis Brown for sure. We can't choose between two songs. Love and Hate is an amazing one, and Have You Ever.
Oh, brilliant one. Because Have You Ever was off the Love and Hate album, if I'm right.
Right.
I know, I love that tune as well, and I think the whole Dennis Brown Love and Hate album is incredible. But so for you, Jaz Elise, like, do you remember the first time you even heard Dennis Brown? Like, I imagine, obviously, growing up in Kingston, you were surrounded by hearing his music. But do you remember have a first memory of it?
I don't know. The music was just always playing every Sunday. You go to school, you hear the music on the radio. I don't even know the first time I heard the music, but I just know that there's a nostalgia being a young girl going to prep school and in high school listening to Dennis Brown, and you just know Have You Ever. You just know that song.
Well, it's an absolute anthem right there, and the full album, Love and Hate, was it's just the vibes that we love to kick off the top 5 here. So how do you want to draw for today on the second pick of the top 5?
I have to draw for Sizzla, Rise to the Occasion.
Yeah. Oh, that is like...
Nothing hype me up more than that song there.
One of my all-time favorite artists ever was Sizzla Kalonji, so I'm so glad you picked Rise to the Occasion right there. Like, for you listen to Sizzla growing up, like, because obviously I think you kind of take a lot of embodied elements of what Sizzla does. He could do them really like harder dancehall styles like you have done in the past, and then he can do the more reggae, the anthems that we know today. Like, would you say that's one thing that you always took away from listening to Sizzla?
For sure, Sizzla is an artist where do what him feel like, do sing what him feel like, sing about. Today is about relationship, tomorrow is about rising to the occasion, and the next day is about thank you, mama, for the 9 months you carried me. He just did whatever he wanted to do, and he just never looked like him hold back on anything. And it's very inspirational to me as an artist to see another artist that does that.
Well, I'm so glad you picked that because, Sizzla is one of my all-time favourite artists. So, wicked second pick there. So, let's get into the third pick then. What are we doing for Jaz Elise's top 5's third pick?
I have a million Chronixx songs that I would just like to introduce, but there's one That is our early Chronics. They don't know.
Yeah, so say back to like 2012 with that one. I remember that was kind of, you know, probably around the time, like, you know, yeah, like Here Comes Trouble and all them tracks come out. But like, I remember, I think this was before even that, maybe. So I'm so glad you picked this one because I absolutely love this tune. So I know that you kind of work closely with artists like Protoje, for example. I feel as if, you know, like Chronix obviously work closely there. Like, you know, like how does it feel seeing artists like yourselves, Protoje, Chronix, Savannah, Lila Iké, Coffee, like, how does that kind of, that new generation of Jamaican artists kind of like help you stay consistent? Like, do you feel as if there's definitely a camp that kind of inspires each other there?
For sure, I believe so. I mean, first of all of us have been inspired by Protoje and Chronix, myself included. Chronix is my ultimate favorite artist, just in every way possible. And they have inspired, they're young and they've inspired all of us, and they're still making amazing music, inspiring all of us. And they're even though Chronix is young, he's such a mentor just in terms of the music and these are artists that will take young artists such as myself and give a little one encouragement and take us under their wings. And not everybody does that, but that is why it would look like it's a camp and it's a movement, because they genuinely care about us as artists and they love what we're doing. And so they naturally just go see us respecting each other and rolling together in a particular way and supporting.
Well, I know they definitely do, because I think when I was sent Good Over Evil on email, it was Protoje himself on his personal email that sent me that song. So he's doing the admin work behind the scenes, send it out to the DJs. I got your track directly from Protoje maybe about a month or so ago. So
amazing.
It's good to know, like, they, you know, everyone's kind of collaborating together to make sure they uplift everyone there. And that's what we're doing here in the top 5, because you're uplifting us with that incredible Chronix track there with They Don't Know. So I want to know, what do you want to go for as the 4th pick then? How are we going as a 4th pick today?
I have to switch it up a little bit and get Nina Simone. Nina Simone has a song called I Shall Be Released. And it's very different, but it's an emotional song that just pulls at my heartstrings every time I hear it.
Well, Nina Simone is one of those like incredible voices. You know it's Nina Simone as soon as you hear like the first syllable or something like that. And I feel as if like you're definitely resonating with. And I'm glad that you actually picked Nina Simone, because I remember when we done this interview with Savannah, who I know you're close with as well, she picked Nina Simone as one of her top 5s as well. So I'm glad to see that Nina Simone is definitely an influence for a lot of Jamaican female artists. Now, it's funny that you picked that Nina Simone track, I Shall Be Released, because I don't know if you know this as well, but you know, that track was on the same label as you've just signed your EP to, RCA Records. Did you know that you're both essentially releasing on the same label right now? Yeah.
I had no idea.
How does that feel for you as someone who influenced you? Now you're both releasing on the same label. Like, it must show that you're in good company.
Hey man, it's small world. Small world.
I'm glad it's come together though, because like, you know, and maybe like, you know, 30, 40, 50 years time, people might be seeing your music in the same way that you're referencing Nina Simone today. So how do you want to go for then as the 5th and final pick?
Lord have mercy, want a bonus. God no want a bonus. But this is hard. First of all, Lauren Hill have a MTV Unplugged album that is amazing, but legendary. But I would say there's a particular song that she has called Zion. She had just a song called Zion. And why I picked that song is just what the song meant to her at the time. Just her journey and what she went through, and just the decisions she made as an artist. She just embodied all of that in a one song. And the song is so beautiful, you know, about her child, you know, so... She's definitely an inspirational artist.
Now, for you, was Lauryn Hill that big an inspiration for you? Because like I know that she's also the first woman in hip hop to ever have an album go diamonds. Like having, you know, like inspiring females like that growing up, was that what drives you today?
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the things. I mean, I don't focus too much on like the accolades and that stuff, but just her journey and that she was able to accomplish that. Given her journey and a lot of the things that she went through, it just showed me know, woman can read anything and them can accomplish anything regardless of what them go through.
And I love that Lauryn Hill, like, she definitely, even though she's not Jamaican herself, she definitely, like, you know, holds the culture true. Like, for example, on the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, on the track Forgive Them Father, the guitar is played by Julian Marley on that song. So Julian Marley was part of that.
Yes. That which dope album, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Dope project.
I still listen to it to this day. And all the Fuji stuff before that as well. Like, I feel... just incredible work there. And I feel as if we're going to be talking about your EP, The Golden Hour, in the same way we think of Lauryn Hill's Miseducation album.
That's the hope, man. That is just that it becomes the Golden Hour. Remember, 2021, Jaz Elise, classic album, classic project.
Well, that's the way I see it. That's the way I'm going to be telling people about it. Like, straight after we be doing today's show, I'm going to be on Clubhouse on the New Music Friday playlist chats that we do on there. And this is my pick of the day. The EP is absolutely incredible work here. So I know that you're not done by any means right now, because as you're saying, the visual element is just important. So what's coming next? Like, what can we expect around this? Because this is just day one today.
Day one project just dropped, the Golden Hour debut project, and you can look forward to some more singles, some more videos, some more visualizers. I'll call this project a visual EP.
I can definitely see that as well. Like,
it's a visual EP.
When I listened to it, I felt like I was in a movie or something like that. Like, when I first listened to the EP, I think I was in the dark at the time. Like, I was literally on my laptop just, and we got the promo link, and I had my headphones in, and I felt like, you know, things were all like moving and colors were coming from the walls. It's a trip in itself. It's brilliant.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's good. That's good to hear.
Well, guys, if you're not following Jaz Elise on all socials, make sure you do. It's very easy to find Jaz Elise. I think you're just Jaz Elise on everything, or Jaz Elise JA on Twitter. But, you know, you're definitely one of the leading female Jamaican artists right now that's pushing the culture forward and doing incredible things for the entire country's perception of music as well. So it's been an absolute honor to have you on the show here today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been great. It's amazing. I love people who support the culture and support the music. So I have to definitely show up and be here. So I really, really appreciate it.
Well, I'm definitely not going to miss your DMs the next time. Like, next time an artist sends me a DM saying, like, yo, check out my tune, like, I'm going to make sure I'm making sure I'm reading every single message, because in 2019 you sent me some Fresh and Clean, and I totally missed it, and then it wasn't until like almost 2 years later that I'm finally like playing it constantly in every DJ set. So
no pressure.
I always want to say thank you. I'm always going to be playing your music here. And right now, Good Over Evil is on the Represent Daytime playlist. It's getting played every single day here on Represent Radio. But the one that I want to play is my favorite one off the EP, and that's what we're jumping into right now, and it's Radio, because we've got Jaz Elise on the radio. So I want to say, Jaz Elise, thank you so much for passing by the Gully B show today on Represent Radio. And I just want to share this EP with everyone I know.
Yeah. Big up Gully B on the radio. You show me love like never before. Big up yourself.